I never really understood the big deal when it came to weddings. But since moving back home to Nigeria 6 years ago and getting married, I soon found out how big a deal it really is. But what happens once the party's over and it's just the two of you? I started to think about this. As much as I've heard about the romance of it all, I've also heard about the stress, the fallouts, fights, and everything in between. Divorced after 6 months, happy being a mistress, the 7-year itch, 8 years dating but no ring in sight. The topics were endless. So I wanted to see what regular people had to say on these topics. I've spoken to single people, married people, and counselors. Maybe if we're all open about our experiences, someone out there may be able to take something good out of this. And I might learn a thing or two myself. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of So You Want to Get Married. So You Want to Get Married is table talk where we talk about anything and everything to do with love, sex, dating, relationships, marriage, you name it, we talk about it. Today we have 3 fantastic guests. First up, we have got actress and producer Abimbola. Abimbola, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good to see you.
Same here.
We also have the MD of DIV College, Leke. Leke, how you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And last but not least, we have got business strategist at Visions Opticals. Hi, Alma. How you doing?
Hey, Dolapo.
Good to see you. Hello, everybody. I'm very, very excited about today's topic. Okay, for viewers at home, today's topic is first dates. Should we go Dutch or should the man pay? Okay, so I'm just going to read out a couple of things. They're actually testimonials that people have written in about this subject. So first up, we have John from Enugu, and he says, if a man doesn't pay, then he is stupid. Yeah. Omalara from Benin says, I've gone Dutch before. Although I was surprised the guy allowed me to pay for half of the meal, I'm glad I was able to prove to him that I'm not just after his money. Now he pays for everything. And Hope from Leke says, if a man ever asks me to pay, best believe he will not see me again. What rubbish. How can he provide for our future family?
She went there.
She talked about the future? Okay. If he can't even spend little money on a meal, next thing he'll be asking me to pay for the petrol he used to drop me home. Nonsense. Give them an inch, they will take a mile. So, with that being said, let's start with Amma.
Okay.
First date, guy asks you out, and then at the end, he's like, so should we split the bill?
Well, see, that's the thing. First date, he asked me on a date. If it has to be intent, if I asked him to go on a date, it's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about splitting. But I was asked, I consented to something, and then I get there and then presented with half of the bill. That I don't like. There always has to be clarity. So definitely no, he has to pay full on.
Okay. Bimbo, what do you think?
First of all, I think Hope is mad. She's angry. Hope is okay. You need a hug.
Yeah. First dates. Should the guy pay? Should it just be a given that the man is going to pay?
I don't think it should be given.
Okay.
In the sense whether he asked, he didn't ask. He didn't want to go, he didn't have to go. So you going meaning that you two have intent as well, which is to see where this is going to go, right? So now when it boils down to it and the bill is brought, depending on what side is dropped over, most times in the middle, or if it's on my side, I'll look at it and be like, okay, so what do you want to do? Based on me asking, what he says now determines whether he's going to say, oh, let's go Dutch or let's not. But I always have my vex money. So
Just
I'm
in
good.
case. In case.
I'm indifferent, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because a date, it depends on what you also clarify as a date.
Yeah, no, a date where he actually asks you out, like, it's not like he's saying we're friends. It's like, oh, I like you, I want to take you out on a date.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice if he did, but if we did go Dutch,
then
I'm good.
You're okay. It's
Either
okay.
or personally, I'm fine.
Okay, so let's hear from the only guy on our panel today, Leke. What do you think about this topic?
I think it's interesting that you started off with 2 options. Maybe there should even have been 3. You talked about, should he pay? Should we go Dutch? Why doesn't she pay?
Well, she'll definitely pay.
That's the third option.
It's a third option. It's
Yeah.
a third option
Okay.
to put there. That's the first thing. Secondly, I think, traditionally we all understand that, it is a given in a lot of situations that the guy should pay. But Amma, you mentioned something earlier about he asking you out or the guy asking the girl out.
Yeah.
So I think in a sense, whoever asks the other person out should have in mind
that they are.
Because sometimes women ask men out. Sometimes it does happen.
So does a man not paying on the first date or you going Dutch, do you feel that that could determine the rest of the relationship? So if on the first date you go Dutch or whatever, or he doesn't pay or you pay, do you think that that's going to be how the relationship is going to continue when you become boyfriend and girlfriend?
Well, it doesn't determine how the relationship goes, but it just determines what you watch for. So if you're a woman and you go for a date with a man and he's not paying on the first date, then subsequently you're going to wonder whether he's going to be responsible with money. Because the fact of the matter is...
Really?
Yes. I didn't force you to go on the date. Therefore, you need to plan. Dating is about planning, and dating is culturally specific as well. So you are in a culture where this is how it works. If you're choosing to be different, you're choosing to be different for a reason. So you're bringing something else to the table. So what is that? So I'm going to consistently watch out for what that thing could be. You need to plan. You need to be able to pay. Similarly, if I'm doing the same thing, I will pay. If I ask you on a date, I will pay, I will plan, and I will execute. And if you can't do that, that means you just don't have, it's just the basic level of responsibility and culturally specific. If you're in a different country, then work with those rules. But in your own country, stick to your rules and play along.
Okay, Bimbo, you mentioned that, you always have your vex money. You said the first date, even if the guy doesn't pay or you go Dutch, it's okay. But, Leke, why do you think a lot of women are so hung up on, because most women that I've asked about this, they're like, of course, like, I don't understand, why would I be paying? So why are women so hung up on the man paying on the first date?
I think it's one of the privileges of the fairer sex.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay, I agree.
I think it's a privilege of fairer sex.
Yeah.
It's the same way, a woman, a lady might expect a gentleman to open a door for her. It doesn't mean that she can't open a door. She can open the door, but it's just one of the privileges, one of the courtesies, one of the gestures that a man would make to the fairer sex, especially if he's trying to court her.
Yeah. Okay, so first date he pays, second date he pays, third date he pays, fourth date, fifth date, sixth date.
I mean, second date, I'm going to pay. I would offer to pay.
Okay, Amma, when would you offer to pay?
If there is a second
you're never
date.
going to offer to pay?
No, I'm never going to offer. The fact of, let me tell you something, Let me tell you something.
Amma is deep.
The reason that there's an issue with this whole thing is because in Nigeria, people expect dating to be marriage. Like the comment we had from the girl in Leke, she's just like, he's not going to be able to pay for the marriage. That's all nonsense. Because dating is a preview, but it's not really an actual preview. Because in most marriages in Nigeria, let's face facts, women pay for most of the stuff. Women pay for school fees. Women are the responsible people.
Yeah.
So if my dating lasts 1 year, then let him pay. If it lasts,
Right?
6 months,
Because
let
you
him
don't
pay
know
because
what's
you
gonna
don't know what's going to
happen.
happen after. So after is the key thing. Before, this is just a preview. So let him work hard, let him plan all the stuff he needs to do to make me feel happy. I'm the fairer sex, as he said, so I completely agree. And thereafter, when reality sets in, then I'm not naive to the fact that life is not like linear. There are like ups and downs and people share. I'm completely happy for that. But initially, I'll go along for the ride.
I don't know. I have mixed.
Because you said, you actually said specifically on the second date.
Let me tell you why. My mentality is a bit warped. Maybe because I have too many guy friends.
Okay.
This is the way I see things. What Leke mentioned, very valid. It's a privilege. But I feel like, back to the basics, in Nigeria, we take things to the next level. A privilege doesn't mean it's an expectation. It's not a standard. It doesn't always constantly always have to happen. Meaning that if it doesn't happen, you will leave and you will pay for your food and you guys will move on. And if he's a genuinely good guy, down to the nitty-gritty, he calls you for the next date, you will pick up your phone and you will show up. Or not, based on the fact that, based on hope. Yeah. Why would I know? But I'm like, the deeper things to think about. And I also believe that if he doesn't pay the first time, I don't agree that that means
a deal breaker.
No, not necessarily. Because I mean, it's the same way you're looking out for things as well. Yeah. He's looking out for things
exactly.
as well.
So, Abba, what if the guy, do you think like as a guy, you might just want to test? Let's say every time you attract gold diggers or something like that. And you just think, this day I'm going to go on. I'm going to just see and ask her to pay and see what happens.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I was in a situation like that once.
Okay.
And so I was on campus hanging out with this young lady, pretty girl, cool. And at some point I said, maybe let's get off campus, let's go get something to eat. So we ended up going out to a fairly nice restaurant, having dinner. And almost as a test, what I did is when the bill came, I acted like I was short. I acted like I didn't have quite enough to cover it. and I watched for her reaction. She immediately offered to put in, offered to, and at which point I can't remember whether I reached in and got, the balance of the money or not. But I think the moral of the story is that we're 10 years married last year. So.
See? What if you're missing out on because it's a yes.
Real spiritual bond.
She didn't know until our wedding day that was what I did.
Are you serious? Oh, that's such a nice story.
It's truly a wonderful story.
It's a one
I
in a
completely
million.
agree. However,
However,
I have no issue. Like, the thing is, he was unsure about her intentions, but the fact of the matter is, if I show up on a date, for me, this is me specific, I can clearly pay for it, right? By the choice of where we're going to go in the first place. So I can clearly pay for it, but I accept that this is a society I've been raised in, and I'm playing with the rules that are presented to me. That's how I work.
Okay, so if on the first date, he turned around and said, can you pay that? I forgot my card or something.
I mean, I'll pay, but there probably won't be a second date. Like, it's not a big deal. I will pay. Like, I have no issue paying. It's not about the money.
Paying, it's just that it's not going to go any further.
No. It's what you are supposed to do. Rite of passage, pay. There's a difference. This story is completely different because he paid and he was like, oh, he was short. And it's not a big deal. I can tip,
but the thing
I
is,
can do extra things, but you can't take me out.
Okay, but the thing
and that was very ad hoc. It wasn't planned. They were on campus and he was like, oh, let's do something. So that was not a planned process. But if you are calling me, right? We're older. And also on campus, you don't have that much money. You're older. So there's older dating, there's younger dating. Different rules apply. So
I suppose different rules do apply.
Okay, so you're saying at this age, presently, no guy can come and be telling you that you should pay. Or it's just not going to go. It's just not going to go further.
Okay, so can I ask a question here? So when do you guys transition from dating to boyfriend and girlfriend? When you now decide whether it's okay, boo, you took me out.
It'll be my turn or whatever.
I'm sure that question, when do you transition from dating to boyfriend and girlfriend, is a whole nother topic.
Which I'm not disputing, but my point is, some people date. In Nigeria, dating is endless for some people.
Like,
no.
Really?
With this, girl, like you said, another topic for another.
Right? Exactly.
So let's leave it.
But the minute you become someone's girlfriend, it's clear. Like it's very clear. There's a contract. You know that you have changed from dating. There's a taxi. Everybody knows. So if you don't have a contract, sign one, and then you can now take responsibility if you choose, because things change.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. We've actually run out of time on this topic. It's now time for our question of the day, and our question of the day is usually completely unrelated to what we're talking about. Okay. Viewers just written in and they want to find out what you guys think. And you guys at home, make sure you join the conversation by sending messages to our email and to our social media handles. Okay, question of the day. I'm in love with my dream guy. 2 years ago, I had a dream that I was going to marry a man from America. It sounds silly, I know. But ever since I had that dream, I haven't been able to take any man that doesn't fit the bill seriously. At one point, my friends and family managed to convince me that I was taking the dream too literally and that I should date other guys. As a result, I found myself in stupid relationships that didn't last. I prayed and I just can't seem to get the idea out of my head. My friends think I'm crazy as I live in London and have only been to America once in my whole life. But I really believe that my soulmate is an American. What should I do?
First of all, wait on. She shall continue to drink.
Oh my gosh.
Drink.
So you think she's living in the clouds? Huh?
She needs to wake up.
I mean,
and be realistic.
She's in love with her dream guy. But she says that she's gone on other dates and they don't last.
Because the problem is her mind is fixated on what she had a dream about.
Really?
That's not, no, I don't think it works. Well,
there's nothing wrong. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having dreams. Dreams are a great thing because we all need to have dreams because that's what keeps the romance there. But if that is your dream and you live in London, I'm sorry, there's no excuse why you should not be in New York every other weekend. Because if you want your dream to come true, you have to actively put yourself.
An American in London.
No, she can't. But what are the chances? Put yourself in a situation where the chances increase.
So this is what I'm trying to understand. Is it that there's an American in America that she's dating?
No.
She
She
just-
had a
They
dream
meant to have
about
imagination.
an American. That she
Yes,
was going to be with
she
an
thought it was
American.
American.
So now she thinks she's going to marry an American.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of Americans in London.
That's what I
and
said.
even with the current situation in the US,
There
I'm
you
sure
go.
more will be coming.
Yeah, so maybe she should sign up to like, a dating
American
American
dating
website.
site.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go on speed dating strictly for Americans. I mean, there are avenues in which she
Yeah,
can
she's in
find
London.
It. If
There
she
are
really,
American people in
Yeah.
London.
So do you think that if she truly believes in this dream, she should just continue and just set her sights on an
Hey.
American person?
someone
Why
needs to wake her
not?
up,
Dreams
to be
come
honest.
true. Like her dream might come true.
I'm too much of a realist.
It-
to agree with
I
that.
mean, listen, I watch telenovelas.
That's
like,
your
I'm
problem.
not joking.
That's your
And I
problem,
know
Mama.
that, okay, if
That's
I'm going
your
to meet my
problem.
Latino guy, I have to go to Mexico a couple of times to
Well
increase my
done.
chances. So,
Yeah, not sit in Nigeria.
No,
we'll see.
it sounds a little bit silly to me.
Exactly.
If she had the American guy and they were communicating, and that's it, because that's what I thought you were talking
No.
about.
No,
it's
she
like
had a
some-
dream.
She had a
The
dream.
dream of her
Yes.
imagination.
So it's not a real person. It's,
Yeah, she hasn't met
And
the
she's
guy.
doing nothing to even,
And she's going to
achieve
be
that
America
dream.
once.
Come on
Sorry,
now.
I'm not laughing.
That's not
at your thing. It's
realistic.
not funny.
That is not
It really isn't.
realistic.
It's just
Keep dreaming.
yeah. Well, I mean, she has two choices: to
Yeah.
continue or just let it go and find
Let it
somebody
go.
else and live life.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's it. Come to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for your input. Really, really, really insightful. And hopefully, you guys will come back sometime soon.
Hopefully.
Yay, thank you.
All right, guys. That's it for another episode of So You Want to Get Married. We will see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye.